Hey guys, so it's Sunday now, and I'm gonna do two different videos right now. I'm just kind of talking about the trip. It was definitely probably a big surprise, and I've had a lot of people ask how I did it, like so spur of the moment, and it wasn't. So um, it was actually planned, and I'm gonna I'll do one video just kind of talking about the trip, and then the video I post tomorrow will actually be about the budget. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, I think I got pink eye from Disneyland. We'll see what happens. That, or I get the same exact symptoms when my allergies are acting up, and you can kind of hear my throat's a little scratchy. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that unfolds. But anyways, so as you guys saw, we met instead of, like, I've kind of talked about it, but I didn't want, just in case like the kids happen to watch one of my videos or something like that, I wanted to not talk about it at all. And in fact, it's been like really hard with like my family. We've been planning it for a really long time. We've been talking about it for years, but we've like really like decided for sure this summer that we were going to do it. And my sister happened to be visiting, and we started like code words. So like we've been discussing it, and we've had code words, and the only people that knew about it were just the people that were going. And yeah, it was DL, so like keep it on the down low, but Disneyland down low. So we had all these code words, and like we would like be texting like whenever I was at my parents' house about it, and like trying to like plan everything. And it's just, oh, it was a lot. And it was a lot too, arranging the three different, for all of us. I mean, it was like a different, anyways, it was a lot. And I'll talk about all that in like the budget portion of it. But instead of Christmas, and instead of buying any gifts for each other, although my parents still managed to address a box of C's chocolates in my name, but aside from that, we agreed to do absolutely no gift exchanges this year. And instead, that we were going to have a trip. Now, I've kind of talked about this in the past, how the years that I don't have the kids for Christmas, I want to actually do like a trip. I think I've talked about this. I've talked about this for sure. I've talked about how I want to do a trip, and then the years that I do have them, I want to like stay home and do like a normal big traditional Christmas. But that I don't think like they need two Christmases, just because like it's kind of like, I don't know. That's just the way I feel about it. So I want to do a trip. Well, this year I had them for Christmas and we did the trip. It was kind of screwy a little bit. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it should align. Eventually it should like become aligned. So anyways, that was our Christmas to each other, was this trip, and spending time together and meeting up and having the memories and everything else. So my sister's dream has been to like see the boys go to Disneyland, and I have been, I don't want to say like bah humbug about it, but I was like, well, like, okay, whatever. I want them to be old enough to appreciate it and to enjoy it and stuff like that. So that's always been my biggest thing. And after going, I am so thankful that I waited until they were 4 and 6. Primarily because Drake is, oh my gosh, you guys, he's right at 40 inches. Like the 40-inch, where's like I have a bottle. Like here is the 40-inch mark, and his head is like right here. But see that little tiny space? Snow boots fixed that. But that little, it got him there. But they will not let him on anything in his other shoes, but he could go on everything. Anyways, oh my goodness. So I was really thankful that I didn't have to turn him down off of like that many rides once we learned, like we carried both pairs of shoes. But he had a blast. Deacon was able to ride everything. We didn't do California Screaming or the Tower of Terror. We just didn't know his limits at that point in time. And to be completely honest, the Tower of Terror really does not excite me. Straight free falls, like, I don't know about that. But my kids blew me away. They blew me away. I kind of felt like the trip could go like before this trip was really like on rides. Like I've always said, like I wouldn't pay for free fall and stuff like that. But then doing it all again at 30 is so crazy, because when I was at Disney World, when I was like, that was the last time I'd been, I was like 12, maybe younger. I didn't like any of them. And in fact, my picture of me on Splash Mountain is like this. And I was like hiding on the ride. My dad really wanted, it's my dad's favorite ride, and he really wanted to go on it. So like to appease my parent, you know what I mean? I did it, and it was just, I don't know. So I went into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be, what's the point? Like, type of a thing. But not only did like my kids find their love for rides, I mean, Deacon blew me away, but I did too. So it was pretty cool sorry, I'm like, the text message thing, I'm using my phone, to find that passion and to share it with my kids and to like really experience it for the first time, like with my kids. It was so cool. So we rode everything. When we got to Disneyland, there wasn't a single ride that we didn't ride. My sister was like, you have to do Space Mountain, it's amazing. I'm like, it's a roller coaster in the dark. Like, yeah, sign me up for that. But she was like, you'll love it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it then. I'll do it. And I did, and I loved it. I'm like, we have to get Deacon on this. And they're like, not in the dark. We're not doing it. And then Deacon saw Matterhorn, and he was like, oh, I want to go on that. And we're like, okay, are you sure? It's one person per seat. You can't like hold a hand because it's one person for each row. And he was like, yeah, I want to do it. We're like, okay. So we did it, and we're like, well, I guess if he does this, we'll try other things. And we did, and he loved it. And then there was another one, so we ended up getting him a fast pass for all of us to go back to Space Mountain. And then we were like, my mom was like, okay, Drake and Deacon, like, because my dad, again, favorite ride, Splash Mountain. We're like, let's do it. Like, it's just walk on. There was no line for Splash Mountain. So we're like, let's do Splash Mountain. And Deacon didn't love the Grizzly Run one. So we were like he didn't like, come to find out, he just didn't like getting wet. It wasn't the actual ride or the drops or any of that. But we were in line, and my mom was like, okay, boys, come on, we're gonna go do Toad's World or something like that. And Deacon's like, wait, no, I want to go on this. And we're like, you sure? Because you're gonna go down that. Like, it's like the biggest drop in Disneyland. And he was like, yeah, I want to go on it. It was his favorite ride. So he went on everything. And Drake was like, I want to go on a roller coaster. We're like, okay, let's try Thunder Mountain. The crazy train is what we've called it. And he loved it. So I'm just like, my kids are crazy. I mean, their dad really likes all that stuff too. So I guess it's not too far-fetched. And come to find out, I really liked it. So, yeah, like, I mean, just cool stuff. Like the picture of Deacon on Splash Mountain, like we agreed. We're like, okay, when you go down the big drop, which is the third one, I forgot that there were 3. I thought there was only 2. And I think it might be in Disney World. Is there only 2 in Disney World? And one's in the dark, and then one's the big one? Well, that's what I was expecting. So we're like cruising along, and you have a drop in the beginning of Splash Mountain. I was like, I thought that was in the dark. And then we get going a little further, and we're in the dark, and then there's another one. I was like, oh, bonus. Like, I didn't know. And then the big one. So anyways, we agreed I'll do funny faces. So like everybody's making a funny face, including Deacon, which just blew my mind. And then in a Space Mountain, we were like, okay, let's all point at Deacon. Like, you know, just like everybody's pointing at him. So like we're all like pointing at him. He's behind me. And I was talking. I was like, this is the camera. So my face was like, but anyways, but we're pointing at Deacon, and he's just like this, like bored, like the same exact look as like when we're driving down the freeway, and we look at the picture, it's just like, dude, like, are you serious? I just wasn't expecting it. I was expecting more of just like, you know, the storybook rides and like It's a Small World 90 times, but no, like just crazy. So we had a really good time, and now I'm like, oh, like let's go again, and let's like figure out ways to make it cheaper. And I'm totally gung-ho Disneyland, which is just funny because I would have never ever done it. And you know what's funny? The funniest part is we're getting on the plane, and we run into this guy that I know, and he was like, oh, like, I didn't know you're on this plane. I'm like, well, you know, you wouldn't have, but like, how are you? And stuff like that. He's like, good. He's like, you know, where are you going? I was like, we're going to Disneyland, but my kids don't know. He's like, land or world? I was like, land. And he was like, oh, he's like, if you ever go to World, I have a condo in Florida. I'm like, seriously? It would have been cheaper. So anyways, I'm like, but now we have a place to stay in Disney World. So I'm like, yes, like, I want to figure out a way to make that one work. So maybe next time we'll do that. But yeah, it was such a fun trip. So much fun. And there was no drama, and everything worked out perfectly. Outside of getting home, outside of that was not perfect. That was that was far from ideal. It was a nightmare. I texted my boyfriend at one point, and I was like, I am borderline like frustrated / like ready to cry at any minute / just laughing. And I was like, oh, I don't, well, very fine lines because I'm like just borderline all three of those. The lines are fine. Like I am laughing and then Drake's melting, and like while I'm laughing about it, like joking with people in line, I'm like talking about it, like frustrated. I've got like tears in my eyes, like because I'm gonna like just completely, I'm just tired, and it's just like blah, a full mix of emotion. And luckily like kept it together. I remember texting Megan, I was like, I think I might have like a cry in the shower, and she was like, you should just let it all out. I'm like, yeah, but I just want to go to bed. So I did. It was just exhausting. It was exhausting. And that was just it. Is we were just tired. The night before, we stayed up super late. I don't think any of us went to bed. Nobody went to bed before midnight. And then we were up at 7. Drake was like, Mom, the sun's awake. It's like, oh my gosh, no. So we didn't sleep much. And yeah, I went to bed at like 1:30 or 2. So, I mean, and it was just like, and we, you know, we'd been staying up late, waking up early so we could do the, magic hour or whatever. Yeah, it was just crazy. So anyways, good trip though, all in all. I absolutely loved it. I want to go again. It was better than I had expected. When I had coffee with my friends the first day in life video I did you guys like that? Like watching the whole thing? All of it? I don't know if that was boring or entertaining or what. But I had coffee with my friends and I was like, yeah, like I'm excited just to go and like see my family, but I'm kind of like not that excited, and I was in a weird spot with it. And then in the middle of it, like all the pictures, like I was so happy, like we were all just so happy, and we had so much fun, and it was just amazing. So anyhow, you were a lush. I don't know, raise your paw. So we're cuddling. Anyhow, I think that's it. I'm gonna do a video now about like the budget and how, you know, I swung it and how we saved money and my plans if we were to do it again, everything else. So anyhow, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.